and welcome to our final video on COVID-19. Please make sure to check out our other videos on this topic. Today we'll be discussing how likely you are to survive, how you can stay safe, and our predictions of the course we think the virus will take. Risk factors and prognosis. Now this is a bit you really care about. How likely are you to survive? This depends hugely on where you are from. For example, the reported death rate in China is only 2.3%, which contrasts enormously from the 8% death rate in Italy and 6.5% mortality rate in Iran. Who is most at risk from COVID-19? The main risk factors seem to be age, as 80% of the deaths from the US have occurred in people aged 65 or over, even though this group has only accounted for 31% of diagnosed cases. Other risk factors include cardiovascular disease, diabetes, hypertension, pulmonary diseases, and immunosuppression. For example, patients with established cardiovascular disease have a 10.5% mortality rate, and diabetics have a 7.3% mortality rate. That may have seemed like a lot of numbers, but the take-home message is this: the elderly are most at risk, so the countries with the largest populations of elderly people will have the highest mortality rates. Advice. There are a lot of things you can do to reduce the likelihood of becoming infected if it is not too late, as the median incubation period is 5 days, so you may have it without even realizing. This is why social distancing is actually an important thing to do, and not just advice from panicking governments. Other precautions you can take are practicing good hygiene, which does suck if you have eczema, but it isn't as bad as risking your life by becoming infected. Avoid touching your face. You can also practice respiratory hygiene, and importantly, make sure your kids do too, as it may not be something they are used to doing. As part of this, individuals with a fever or respiratory symptoms are advised to wear a mask, although there is no evidence that wearing masks will be of benefit to those without symptoms. Predictions. You and I are probably trying to work out when the virus will peak and when we are most at risk. And right now, the scientists trying to make these predictions are struggling due to a lack of reliable data. The variables they need to make these predictions are disease incubation period, how quickly the virus spreads through the population, and the mortality rate. We've already seen how variable mortality rates have been in different countries, anywhere between 2.3 and 8%, but there is a lot of spread in the incubation period too. The median value for this is 5 days, but it ranges anywhere from 2 to 12 days. All in all, it is very difficult to predict the outcome. Due to how infectious it is reasonable to assume that, like influenza, COVID-19 is going to come back and infect us every year, and we'll probably all be infected at one point in the near future. This is an example of how adaptive immunity is very important. Countries are now trying to flatten the curve, meaning that they want people to get infected slowly as opposed to all at once, as resources such as ventilators will run out if everyone gets infected in a short period of time. Make sure you comment your theory on the spread of COVID-19 down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something. To find out more about other hot topics in medicine, make sure you subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching.